Well, here comes Navas!
Great control by Ernie Tapai. Still Ernie Tapai! It's a goal! It is a goal!
And Kadim's got there and he's turned the defence. There's his foul! Super stuff! Well, on behalf of City TV Sports, a very warm welcome to the Bedok Stadium. We've completed our preview show, and now for the big event tonight. It's the match between Geylang United. There are their faithful supporters, young and old, sitting in the crowd. The E-Girls are already doing their dance under their captain, Lin. They're taking on Home United. Don't forget Home United, who have the honour at the moment of holding the Singapore Cup, and they're coming good in this season so far. We didn't discuss Home United much, Vincent Subramanian, in the warm-up. You think, Vincent, a sign of a good team, they say, is when you can get results, when you're stumbling and stuttering a bit, and Robert Alberts has rather done that this season.
Well, obviously the problem has been the performance of the foreign players they have recruited, while on the other side where Geylang is, you see that the foreign players have sort of settled in because they probably kept all of the players who have already played in Singapore, and they are beginning to show their form and paying dividends for the club. While on the other hand, the new acquisitions by Home United are trying to prove themselves, perhaps need a little bit more time to sort of settle down in the humid climate here in Singapore, and obviously the inconsistency we were talking about as far as Home United is concerned is causing some concern, because you can see that Robert Alberts is changing sides from game to game, and he needs to find the right formula before he can sort of settle down with the team. And the players' form is indeed a problem for him, because while you expect them to perform at a high level, perhaps they will show some form in training, but they're not exactly reflecting them on Saturday night when it matters most.
Okay, now looking at the game tonight, the two sides out here, Geylang United in their home kit of green, and there are the Home United boys. Sasi Kumar at number 13 on his back, the big man in defence. Is this a game that's going to be decided in the midfield?
Oh yes, of course. Most of the top games have been settled out in midfield, because the battle is won in midfield, they say. But it's got I think today's game is going to be a lot on the shoulder of the forwards, because indeed we have got quite a strong strike force for both the teams. And there'll be some goal actions, and let's see the strikers who is more clinical and was trying to finish off the chances of perhaps win the game for this team.
Well, there's the Geylang United line-up, as I say, just the one injury really for them. Hassan Jalani, a long-term injury. Robin Chitrak back, but on the bench. Winston Yap, Aleksandar Duric, Bothwell, Zulkarnain Zainal, the captain tonight, Sharifuddin, Basri Halis, William Bone, as they call him, sometimes called as Billy Bone, Saeed Fadil, Noor Ali, and the young goalkeeper, 19-year-old Lionel Lewis. A big boy he is too, standing at just over $1.88. There are the substitutes. Cheryl Jansandra, surprisingly, on the bench tonight, the under-23 keeper. Kari Yahya, now the assistant coach here. Razali Kalik, Hamarul Hanif, Vuko Sadjevic, the Croatian player, although now lives in Australia. Fadli Noor, and a welcome back to Robin Chitraka, the Singapore international left-back, who's had a terrible time with knee injury. The teams go into their huddle here, and we'll have a look at the Home United lineup in a minute. I have to say, both these sides, when you look at them on the screen, they really are star-studded. Ali Saleh in goal, Ong Leong Kun, Indra Sharan Daud, who's in great form this season, the former Geylang player, Adi Iskander, S. Subramani, both Singapore internationals, Harun Jumat, Egmar Goncalves, now starting to find form, the Brazilian, Perez de Oliveira, the other Brazilian, Sasi Kumar, Faris Mohamed, and Edson Garcia, their third Brazilian at number 19, the 30-year-old. There's their substitutes, Mohamed Madani, Zulkifli. The eyes, though, will all be on number 20. There he is, George Solskjaer. Well, he'll be known as Gorgeous George, I wonder. 33 years old, comes here straight from the English first division, I should say, as where Q Parks Rangers he was playing for have been relegated, which is why he's now here in Singapore. The three officials on the pitch tonight, the veteran referee Ismail Suri in his retirement year, Kay Visvanathan as the first assistant referee, the second is Megad Azman, and the familiar face of Timothy Dennison will be fourth referee. Ismail Suri just jogging back to the halfway line. It's going to be Home United to get this big match underway, and it really is a big match indeed. A lot of tension on all the keepers' faces tonight. Geylang United against Home United. Just checking the watches, checking with the fourth official, checking with even the TV people, can you believe? Vincent, a quick forecast?
Well, before the forecast, John, in big matches like that, normally the referee steals the limelight somehow or rather. I hope that doesn't happen tonight.
Yeah, we have had our share of yellows and reds this season. Home United in the all-blue strip, the side who represent the police force, kicking from right to left on your screen against the Geylang Eagles. Now I just have a little theory tonight that Robert Alberts is going to try his luck for 15 minutes. If he doesn't get anything from it, he's going to shut up shop and go for 1 point. So I think he really feels, talking to him during the week, that this is a formidable outfit they face, and that his Home United side are not quite running smoothly yet, and they may have a problem coming away with at least a point. Early corner for Home United to be taken by Harun Jumat. High teasing one, and clean take by big Lionel Lewis. I haven't seen Lionel Lewis before. Vincent, can you tell us a little bit about him?
Oh well, he's a very formidable goalkeeper, young and what they call an up and coming goalkeeper. Who spent a short stint in Arsenal together with Sharif Jantan, and I thought that stint did a lot of good because he showed a lot of composure, a lot of confidence, and he told me that personally that he wants to go back there again.
Well, I have to watch back balls like that with someone so fast over the first 20 metres as in Rashadan. Sasi Kumar just introducing himself. Aleksandar with a very casual flick with the boot, the outside of the boot. Clearly left West Subramani, the Home United captain, to tidy up. Back shot there of Brian Bothwell, who's been to the hairdresser this week, every day. And he and Billy Bone very much forgive the pun, the backbone of this team. Harun trying to tidy up, but doesn't make it. It's going to run a little bit long, and it can't be kept in by Bashir Halis.
Yes, indeed, John, that Lionel Lewis is indeed a surprise that is starting off tonight's match, because Shah Jantan has been the custodian in goal for Geylang all these other previous matches. Perhaps there is a call for Lionel to come on, but definitely I don't think he's going to disappoint anyone, because he's a good goalkeeper.
Chance for the other goalkeeper. Goal kick for Home United, taken by Adi Saleh, former Singapore Armed Forces keeper. Big jump up by Brian Bothwell, beg your pardon, that was Perez. Bayon Sarat. Comes out, doesn't expect it, into shut up. Sharif. That is, Billy Bone clears for Geylang, but it's picked up by Aleksandar. Now we've seen Home United twice here on City TV, as we're now known this season, and I thought their back four, their very famous back four, was actually a little bit creaky. And it'll be interesting to see whether they found some form now. Certainly in the first match that Vincent and I did, when they were defeated by Sembawang in that surprise opening game, the back four looked all over the place. But fair to comment, I think that they just come, certainly Subramani and Adi had come on the World Cup qualifiers and were looking a little bit tired.
Well, indeed, the game is very tight at the moment. I guess we are right to say that the game is in midfield at the moment, trying to get over each other. Perhaps Billy Bone will have an edge today because he's much more experienced. I guess playing at home, you feel a lot more confident. But I guess you're going to rely a lot on the flanks, where Fadil and Muhammad Ali was actually playing on the left today.
Oh, this is the ball in, headed back by Billy Bone. It's 1-0! Headed back by Brian Bothwell, rather. What a sensational start for Geylang. And there might be just a little question mark over the marking. Brian Bothwell, who's all of 1.83 m, rising majestically above the Home United defence, and that is a very bad start indeed for Home United.
Well, they got two strong players who are good in the air, Brian Bothwell and Aleksandar Duric. I guess in this moment when the ball was floated across, Sasi Kumar was paying a lot more attention on Aleksandar Duric, leaving Brian Bothwell a little bit on his own. And that ball that came onto the far post was excellent.
Lovely header, and stunning goal by the big Scotsman, Brian Bothwell, who was such a big success when he played in Brunei.
Well, if there's any question about Home United trying to play defensive, well, that goal coming again there on the screen for you. Well, if Home United is thinking of any plans of trying to sort of be a little bit more tight in defense and trying to get up front, then I guess that's not going to work anymore, because they are already a goal down. They need to come back quickly.
Kumar deflecting that one away from that long shot from Billy Bone, who comes straight over to the bench to get a little bit of instruction from Jan Jong. Of course, Geylang United now coached by the Korean Jan Jong, former Singapore Lion, of course, in the days when Singapore was still in the M League. More in just a moment. It's a corner to Geylang. just the start that Robert Alberts must have been dreading. In the box. Control it. It will be a goal kick for Woodlands, who'll need to regroup mentally as much as anything else. They've released Jackson Thiago since we last saw them, and of course they got through 2 Iranians already as well, and there are 1 or 2 rumours about Amir Tabakolian, their 20-year-old Iranian. They've retained him for the moment, but he's not a starter for the team, and one wonders how much longer he'll be in the squad. Shows flashes of absolute brilliance, but a lack of stamina. But now a good break on for the Peace Boys from Faris Mohammed. Takes a deflection, should be a corner. Faris is on the cross because it's been a goal kick awarded.
Well, John, Faris is playing far out on the left. I guess he was hoping that he will probably be marking Matno Ali, but strangely, I think Geylang has chose to use Matno Ali on the left, instead bringing in Noor on the right. While Faris might not be able to do his defensive duties as he wants, but I guess he could capitalize on Matno Rahman now that he has got faster pace than Matno. He probably could use that a lot more in the match.
Bothwell. It's cut out by Ong Leong Kun. Bypasses Bothwell. Egmar Goncalves jumps over it. Tidying up by Winston Yap for Geylang. Last year it was Home United 2, Geylang 5 the first time they met, and then it was a 2-2 draw. Always been close between these two sides, and it isn't over yet by a long chalk. If you've just switched on, you've missed the first goal though. Brian Bothwell climbing beautifully above his marker to head Geylang United into a 1-0 lead in just the 2nd minute. Now Geylang can afford just to settle themselves, get rid of the remaining butterflies. Duric can't quite control that, but he seemed to do well at number 9 for Geylang against his former club. Everyone was quite surprised when Robert Alberts chose to release Aleksandar Duric, and I guess he's made a bit of a point this season, having scored 10 and being 2nd highest scorer in the league. Already Geylang just playing it at their pace. Zool. Bothwell gets up again. Oh, this is good play from Geylang. Home can't clear it. ID in there, really having a dig. Play on, says referee Ismail Souri. And let's see what the Brazilians can do. Perez de Oliveira gets into the shot and gets in on pace. Oh, he chose to square it. I wonder whether he might have gone for a shot there. Egmar has it, but there's not much support. There's just Indra in the box. Haran Jumat lurking at the back with Perez. On the right with his arms folded, Jangjung. Standing up, Kariyaya, who former Singapore international, now the assistant coach. There's Egmar Goncalves, who'll be hoping to just increase his tally in the league so far. He's just got the 5 goals. Starts off very slowly. Corner for Home United. Not a great one. Comes out with Duric made a run, but they couldn't reach him. Noor. Bothwell not entirely happy with the attentions of Edson Garcia, and it will be a free kick to be taken by Billy Bone, former captain of Geylang, Billy Bone. But after all the trials and tribulations he and Bothwell had to suffer last season, I think he's enjoying the lack of responsibility now and having a belter of an S-League season, Billy. Such a buzz about the club, isn't there, Vincent? Away by Aleksandar. Headed on by Bothwell, offside flag up.
I think this is where they call Home United got to be a little bit more careful, because where they are pushing up to try and tie it up in midfield, they're getting caught square, and the ball that's been played across back into the box is not really been picked up. And Adi Saleh has to play a role here, because he has got to read the game and come off quickly to get these loose balls that are coming behind the defense.
17 goals in the last 3 games. Geylang United have scored, including a 6-0 victory over Marine Castle, 6-0 over Woodlands, and a 5-0 win the week before. 6-0 win over Marine Castle was almost the result last night, almost astonishing, with Marine Castle beating SAF. Geylang pushing forward. Mohamed Noor Ali looking very relaxed before the game.
Well, he's playing well, John, especially on the flanks, creating a couple of goals for the team. So he's a player definitely to watch tonight.
Aleksandar. Home United pushing right up. Back four right up on the halfway line. Back three it is at the moment. Tackle by Basri Halis. Billy. Back to Lionel Lewis. Not the easiest ball, which the young goalkeeper dealt with very well. One has to say the pitch in very, very good condition indeed here, which Brian Bothwell was telling me before the game has made a big difference to their performance this season. They feel confident in their pitch now. Noor Ali breaks forward, does well. Duric. Aleksandar, who's very busy. Edson Garcia breaks away for Home United. He's got Egmar with him, uses Egmar. With Winston Yap just harrying him.
But with the pressure that Geylang is putting on to the Home United players, I guess that the Home United players got to release the ball a lot more earlier to try and get the game going. Otherwise, they tend to lose the rhythm and the momentum, and more often than not, they lose the possession of the ball.
Perez. Oh, a little deflection back for Indra Shada, jinking around in front of the Geylang defence. Plays it out, offside, disappointing.
I think that's where it comes in. I think they're relying a lot more on individual rather than teamwork. While Geylang, on the other hand, is trying to string the passes around, creating chances for Aleksandar Duric and Fadil up front, with Brian Bothwell coming on very fast from midfield.
Should be plenty of support for these two sides tonight. Home United have brought their cheerleaders, and Lynn and her girls, the E-girls as they're known, were working themselves up before the game. So it'll be a nice atmosphere. I think we've got these bands here as well, so that should be good to hear. The other match tonight is the Gombak against Tampines, and we'll keep you up to date with the score. That game being played up in Gombak tonight. Important one really for Gombak, who are 8th in the league at the moment, but even more important for Tampines, who are just right behind them in 9th position. Home United themselves come on in good form as we look at Robert Alberts, their Dutch coach, for those of you not so familiar with him, Coach of the Year in 1999, former coach of Tanjung Pagar in the S.LEAGUE and of Kedah in Malaysia. This is Duric on the bit of a hesitation there really from Adi Saleh.
Well, it's poor reading of the game, John. You can see that more often than not, when the ball's been played on, you find that Brian Bothwell or Fadil is actually flicking on the ball for the second striker to run in. If you just catch on the replay on the screen, you can see that quite easily that he's just flicking the ball on. And it's actually poor marking by Sasi, who let his man on. But then again, the goalkeeper, if he comes out, he got to get to the ball first. Then again, he was caught in no man's land. And I would say it is a missed chance for Geylang.
Good header by Sultan Iron Zainal. Perez de Oliveira takes a deflection, puts it slightly fortunate one. Es Subramani back for Aleksandar.
Well, it's quite clear again, I say Home United, it's not swinging passes, they tend to hold the ball a little too long. That will only be to the advantage.
Oh, that was a beautiful flick on though from Goncalves. This should be 1-1. Oh, how on earth did he miss it? Perhaps he held it slightly too long. That really should have been 1-1. It was a glorious through ball from Egmar Goncalves.
But that was very, very good effort there by Lionel Lewis. Came on quite well, narrowed the angle and then stayed composed and put, giving a little chance for actually Indra Shada to sort of score a goal. If you just look at the replay and how it was a little just before that when the ball came through. That's where they won the ball. The flick on was excellent. Harun Jumaat, yes, he was actually on the screen. But look at the positioning of Lionel Lewis. I think you've got to give credit to the 19-year-old boy.
Chances like that could be few and far between for Home United in this game. It's a good climb by Perez. It's a bit of a control from Mohamed Noor Rahman, who's blossomed so much this year. Covered from bike accidents galore that he's had in his career. Indra's in the box, but he's a little bit lacking on height against this young man, Lionel Lewis. believe I'm right in saying was part of the original Olympic team Singapore, is that right?
Oh yes, definitely. He was in the Asian Youth playing for Singapore in an under-19 tournament last year.
Well, they're asking for it. Asasi Kumar standing still and asking for it. He didn't get the offside. That can be disastrous. Brian Bothwell was timed that run beautifully.
Not exactly the fastest play on the field, but could have used the ball better. Trying to get up and look across the goal mouth because I thought Noor Ali was running in.
Edson Garcia, in the picture, the 30-year-old Brazilian who's against one of these players who started slowly with the S.LEAGUE but is now coming good. Came in with Perez de Oliveira. Beginning of the season, corner in for Geylang. Bothwell hits it on, it's over! 2-0! Aleksandar Duric! And Home United are really being ripped apart here.
Well, like I said, John, look out for the flick-ons because that's what is troubling you. You look at the characteristics of the Geylang player. They play on the ball onto the first striker who actually flicks on to the far post or flick on behind the defense. Then again, you can find that actually the far post was actually marked, but when the ball was played in, the marking sort of got loose. If you just look at it again, flick on, and you can see it's coming in front of the defender to score a goal.
And I bet he enjoyed that one, Duric, having been released by Home United. That gives him 12 goals in the league, 11 goals in the league now, rather, for the big Croatian.
I think those things are instinctive, John. You get it in the strikers. Out and out strikers are quite instinctive in where the ball is going to be and sort of anticipate. That was a clear, good example of how the ball going to come across. And Aleksandar Duric, with all credit to him, anticipated that the ball would be flick on. He came on early to score that goal.
Throw in for Geylang taken by Mohamed Noor Rahman. Cuts out by Asasi Kumar. Bryce Mohammed loses it, and another beautiful ball from the great rider Brian Bothwell. Last season he was providing a lot of lovely balls for Indra Shadan to score. Very generous player. Edson Garcia for Home United. They must score now, you feel, in this half if they're going to have any hope of snatching a point here. Just getting into trouble against Faris Mohammed.
You can see quite clearly that when Edson Garcia brought in the ball, he wants to split the defense and try and play a through ball to Faris. But I thought the positioning of Mohd Rahman was indeed excellent because he brought him back, giving him the chance.
For the Geylang faithful, very excited by that. Although surprisingly, the big crowd here in the open grandstand in front, rather quiet. Perez heads it well, but only as far. Well, just hearing in my cans that Tampines have gone 1-0 up and gone back courtesy of an own goal after 13 minutes by one of the gone back players. We'll try and find out who that was for you in a minute. So it's Tampines 1, gone back 0 in the second match tonight, and here at the Bedok Stadium it's Geylang United 2 already, Home United 0. Ong Leong Kun. Home United in the dark blue strip, struggling.
Well, John, with the first goal, John scored by Brian Bothwell. I think the odds for the $11 is gone, and now with the goal hanging on to 2 goals, we probably might see a 7 or 8 goals. I don't know. We all say that probably be decided by a goal, and going to be a very narrow margin. But it is now 25 minutes, and we've got 2 goals.
Good ball in. Oh, almost a free header for Egmar.
That's our chances, John. These are chances that you got to take in the game because your team is down. Look at Geylang United. They make use of the 2 chances they had in the game and scored 2 goals. While on the same hand, you can say that Home United too had 2 chances, but could not score any. And this makes the difference between the 2 lot of strikers that we have. You got to be clinical in these situations.
Well, there by Harold Jumat. Salis. After the ball had gone, and that's going to be a card, no doubt about that, for Edson Garcia for that tackle on Noor Ali. And it didn't look a very nice tackle at all. It happened really after the ball had gone. So maybe Home United just a little bit rattled at the moment.
Well, you know, they are what you call, I would say, not really desperate, but they need a lot of catching up to do, like I said before the match. And winning tonight's match will indeed not only boost their confidence, but sort of narrow the gap at the top. But with this, if they lose a match tonight, then clearly that Geylang goes on to a 9-point lead, which is 3 games.
Just look at this tackle again. Noor Ali gets away. And
It's a two-footed tackle, although there was no malice intended, but two-footed tackles are dangerous, considered dangerous.
Oh, nice turn by Duric. He's got a lot of skill for a big man. Billy Bone following up, but Home United get it through Perez de Oliveira. Does well. Long ball. Big chase on for Harun Jumat. Stand. We'll look for one of those nice quick balls in from the ball boys. Here he is, coming straight back in.
I think Billy's got a yellow card, John, for the earlier tackle on Faris.
Not the first of Williams' career, but then he's a 100% player, and it's been a great strength to the Geylang side. Good to see him back without the pressure on his back he had last season. Just a little touch on that, but Egmar Goncalves gets it back to Harun Jumat. Flicks one up, looking for Perez. Oh no.
Well, yellow cards are of concern, John, because this 10 rounds of the match have gone so far in the league, and already the accumulation of yellow cards are beginning to tell, because I know 3 players in the Geylang actually got 3 yellow cards. I don't know whether Billy is one of them, because if he received one today, if it's 4th one, then he's going to be suspended for the next match.
A glimpse of the cheerleaders for Home United there. Nice to see them down more in front of the grandstand where we can all enjoy the performance, and they can be seen. A little long shot, testing Lionel Lewis, not entirely cleared. In the end, tied it up by of all people, Mohamed Noor Ali. So that was well worth a belt.
Well, you look at the whole defense push up except Mohamed Noor Ali, for good reasons, I think, because he stood there between the posts to clear the ball away from the goal line.
Big hoofing clearance from Billy Bone. Aleksandar back to Adi Saleh. The score stays Geylang United 2, Home United 0, and if you weren't with us, the scorers Brian Bothwell just in 2 minutes, and Aleksandar Duric. Well, that's a teasing ball. Adi Saleh's going to have to go up. I hope he gets it well. He does, gets a fist on it. Whistle's gone.
Well, you can see Home United actually putting some pressure on, because the defense is indeed pushing up, giving a lot of compactness in midfield, giving chances for Perez Garcia to hold on to the ball and try and string passes in midfield. That's a good thing to do, but I guess the ball is played too early up front for Egmar and Indra Shadan, and perhaps Harun Jumat. I think they got to play a lot more on the flanks before they can come in.
Perez tries a shot. Did he get a deflection? He did. It's going to be a corner for Home United. Struggling to get back into it. They had to struggle at the beginning of the season too, starting with defeat by Sembawang. Nice for those, sitting on the grass. And just earlier on, I was watching a family here, just lying on the grass, having a picnic, watching the game. Really super to see. In comes across for Home. Sussi's there, the big boy, but it's headed away by Winston Yap, but only as far as Faris Mohammed. Chips it back, must be offside. Is it not offside for Edson? Oh, well, everybody stood and thought it was offside. And as Vincent said a moment ago, if you don't take your chances, you're asking for trouble. Amazing. The Brazilian, hopefully just get a little glimpse of it. But
I must tell you, John, it takes a skillful player to miss from that distance.
It's the third. Here it is. Let's look at it again. There's a little chip through from Faris. Well,
That's a little offside,
didn't he? But if it had been in, they'd have been back in the game. So 3 good chances for Home United that they've blown so far. Long down the just going enough to help that one. Into touch, keeping it away from Noor Ali, but Noor Ali will take the throw in. Singapore international. The whole field tonight littered with Singapore internationals as far as the local players are concerned. Bothwell. Whoop. That's going to be a free kick. As I was saying earlier, starting off with defeats by Sembawang and by SAF in the first 2 matches. It's built since then and undefeated really since March the 24th. Geylang so far yet to taste defeat. Just that one draw against Gombak at the end of March. Adi Saleh with the goal kick, the free kick rather, for Home. Already flicks it on for Duric. Goes for the return, and again had Aleksandar and S. Subramani standing almost side by side in the middle of the pitch. S. Subramani. Looks to the gap, waits. Nice play by the former Tampines player. Looks very confident, as indeed does the whole team, and well they might. Ref doesn't like that tackle by Said Fadil. Yeah, misses that one and gives a chance. It's Lionel Lewis who hasn't put a foot wrong tonight, including one great save from Harun Jumat earlier. Hoists up an enormous kick.
Well, both teams are adopting a 3-5-2 system, so basically it's a quality of players we have on both sides. Is one able to outdo another? You find a numerical advantage.
Perez with Egmar Goncalves unmarked, decides to go for it! Oh, and again a miss! How astonishing! What more can Home United do?
Well, first of all, they should challenge the player running onto the ball because they signed back. And I thought Lionel had a hand onto the ball, which is actually a very good save that you can see actually. He made a very good save.
Nice piece of football all round. Good shot, great save. Corner for Home United. Trailing 2-0. Away by Bothwell. And away by Zul. Billy Bone. Zul. Duric can't quite get that one for all his height. Aleksandar. Oh, gets a nice deflection. And Heidi once or twice this season, and that puts Adi Salih under a lot of pressure. And no one bothering to get back and help the goalkeeper. They all stood and watched him.
Yes, quite correctly, John. Even in those circumstances, you must have a player running back.
Oh, Winston Yap puts it back. And just signs now that Indra Sharan, Egmar and Perez de Oliveira are starting to worry the Geylang defence. Winston Yap, who every time I've seen him in the last 2 or 3 seasons, I've done commentary, I must say, has never let his side down.
Well, Janjung is on the touchline type passing top instructions. It must be the back-pedaling defence because that's not the right thing to do.
Goes deep to the back of the box again. Edson holds it up well and does very well to get the cross in, looking for Egmar, away by Winston Yap. Faris. Good spell for Home United.
Well, as a matter of concern, John, that indeed Geylang United are defending a little bit too deep. You guess you're going to win the ball in midfield, but if you let the opponents come onto your penalty box, it's a little bit dangerous because there is always a chance of giving away free kicks, conceding penalties, perhaps even conceding a goal. I guess what they got to push up a little bit more and stop falling back a little bit too deep to defend.
Well, they have a great record. I mean, a great defensive record. They've only conceded 8 in their 9 matches so far. Geylang, but not looking that solid in the back tonight. On the other hand, they're facing 2 of the best players in the league as far as forwards are concerned, Indra Sharan and Egmar Goncalves.
Well, you can also see why they are having the best defense records, because not only they have a good goalkeeper, they've got a good pair of goalposts that's sort of stopping the balls going in.
They move the goalpost. Brian Bothwell chips one in. And there's another good chance for them, but good play by Adi Salih. Gets it away for Indra Sharan. Run from Harun Jumat, taking on Basri Halis. International. Gets it back for Egmar Goncalves. Egmar holds it up well, which is one of his skills that doesn't get mentioned a lot. Does a lot of selfless work, does Egmar Goncalves, holding the ball up for others. Edson Garcia got Faris wide on the left. Chips it on, the flag stays down again, and this surely must be a goal eventually. Well, what is going on? Perez again. Again, I thought the flag might have been up, didn't it?
Well, it's the man on the far side. We really honestly cannot see it quite clearly here because kept his flag down second time. First time we thought, yes, it was doubtful, but this one is really 50-50. It's the best call. I thought the linesman has the best call.
Corner for Home United. Sassi's there but can't get a header on it. Billy Bone brings it up, looks up for someone to pass forward to, but there wasn't anyone. Edson does well. Oh, nutmegs Billy Bone, he won't have enjoyed that. Indra, little back flick, but it's tied it up at the back in the end for Home United. Sassi rather lumbers into that tackle. A lot of action in this game. Noor Ali looking for Duric. Gets the better of Aleksandar, but into the keeper's ball.
That's the team we're talking about. You see, when the high ball gets floated in, you can find that Fadil is running close to Aleksandar Duric because he's not going to hit the ball down for him.
Perez, a little too deep for anyone really. A lot of work for Perez tonight, but I guess his coach might ask him at half-time how he managed to miss at least 2 good chances. Egmar. Whether they psychologically went to sleep a bit, being pushed back in the last 10 minutes.
Well, they all expected a hard game. It is going to be a hard game, but having a 2-goal cushion probably sort of make them a little bit more defensive and trying to keep the 2 goals. That means 3 points in the back, John.
We're going to see Vukosavic in a minute, the 22-year-old Croatian, now living in Australia. He'll come on for Geylang United.
Well, as a player, I believe that he's training very hard. It seems he trained 3 times a day just to get himself into the first team. Unfortunately, he's not been able to perform. And indeed, there's been some concern to the club because under 23 players, indeed a foreign player. You don't want to pay a foreign player and put him on the bench. And I guess it'll be a right time for him to come on and prove himself. But I guess it's going to be quite interesting who they actually want to take off.
Who are they going to take off? Sorry, they're not going to take off Duric. Sorry, they're not going to take off Noor Ali. They're going to bring off Sharifuddin Mahmoud. So they're bringing off a defensive midfielder, really, and bringing on an out-and-out forward. He's 22 years old. There he is in the picture. Croatian by nationality, although he now lives in Australia, in Melbourne.
But 2 reasons, John. Either that, what they call, of course, Mano Rahman is a very improved defensive player for Geylang. Perhaps they want to show up the defense for Geylang, or either they want to get a little bit more strength in midfield in trying to win the ball. I say like earlier that we want to win the ball in midfield and not sink back. I guess what they call Naboja has come on to sort of strengthen the defensive qualities in midfield and trying to win more balls for Geylang there.
We've gone straight on the left side up front, the front 3 runners now. Duric in the middle with Vukosavic on his left and Brian Bothwell on the right. Duric and Vukosavic know each other pretty well. In fact,
well, this free kick is all exactly about the foreigners. One is taking, another 3 are waiting for the end.
Indeed, foreign connection, isn't it? Both the goals scored by foreigners so far. Billy Bohm. Bothwell climbs so well, and it comes from the back of the box. And you thought that Said Fadil might have done a bit more with that.
Well, that'd be interesting. One taking the free kick, 3 at the other end waiting, and the local player spot. Some kind of a decoy and disguise, I would say.
It's a little band that Geylang have got. Haven't heard a lot from the police band tonight. In fact, squinting over into the distance, I don't actually believe they are here for this game. It's great when they are. It's going to be a free kick for Home United.
I think that's a setback of Mano Rahman. Indeed, is a very good young potential defender, but he gives away too many free kicks, I thought, around the area, which you don't want good defenders to do.
Edson Garcia plays it wide for Harun Jumat. Nice little turn from Faris Mohammed. Really nippy for a 30-year-old. Puts a teasing cross in, but a little too close to Lionel Lewis, who has had his goal peppered in the last 10 minutes, but held on magnificently, having a great game, the keeper. Not huge kick forward for Sasi Kumar. That's Subramani. Just caught there by Noor Ali. Play on, says the ref. No, doesn't. He's awarded the free kick. I beg your pardon. Home United have got a goal difference at the moment of just +8, compared with a goal difference of +21 for Geylang. Zhang Zheng there in your picture.
Well, credit must be given to him for this year's performance for Geylang, because he's been with the club for a long time, and I'm sure what they call they made the right decision to appoint him as the coach. And now you can find that actually he's putting his true experience to test.
Well, he came out the right way, didn't he? They put him in the Prime League in about '98. Then he became assistant coach behind Alan Best, and then when Alan left last season, halfway through the season, he became coach and defied, I think, a lot of people. I think 1 or 2 people, quite a lot of people, were quite sceptical as to whether he could hold on, and he's done extremely well.
Oh yes, and he's got a huge belt of playing experience, not forgetting that he played in the World Youth Tournament for Korea.
Happily settled now in Singapore with his 2 children. The game by no means over here, although it's 2-0 to Geylang United if you've just joined us. Goals for Duric. That was goal number 2, and the first goal scored by Brian Bothwell in the 3rd minute. That's what opened the doors, but Home United have pushed them back a bit in the last quarter of an hour. Let's have a quick look at the watch, unofficially. Just over, and another chance. Bothwell in the box with Duric. Bothwell flicks it on for Noor Ali. He's clashing over there with his Singapore teammate, Subramani. Ong Cohen picks it up and gives it for Ibushara.
Well, Subramani has always been reliable. You don't get anyone. You can't actually get past him, honestly.
Duric. Oh, and it's a great ball for Noor. This could be 3-0. He pushes it away. That was a good save by Ali Saleh, but it's so nearly squeezed through his fingers.
It's almost an own goal, John. Well, this is what we're looking at. You see the far post cross. I think Ong was supposed to mark Mano Ali. If you look back at the screen again, the ball being floated across there on the far post. It's almost an own goal. A good save, a good reflex save there by Ali Saleh.
Well spotted, Vincent, because I didn't spot that. Came off S. Suleimani. Egmar goes up. It's away by Zul initially. Brian Bothwell. But you won't knock Brian off the ball too quickly. Duric, he's a big man and a real handful. Who's to 91. Oh, lovely little bit of play. Billy Bone, I think, probably just a little bit slow on it, but gets the corner.
Well, physically, Aleksandar Duric, he looks heavy. He looks like a guy who's a sort of overweight, but he shows a lot of flexibility in his movements. I guess he does a lot of conditioning work, especially on flexibility and stretching. You can find that he's able to turn quickly, he's able to run, he's able to get onto the ball and sprint well, uses his body well. Honestly, what do you call it? Yes, you're quite right, John. It's quite difficult to see how Home United actually let him go.
Away eventually by Ong Yong Cohen. But I have to say, as I felt the first two occasions I saw them, this Home United defence not looking very impressive. Or a little chip through from Vuko Savjevic, and how that would have been nice for his confidence if it had just run for Duric.
It's not exactly the defence as a trouble, John. If you look at it carefully, actually, the players are coming from midfield. I guess Faris and Hong has to play a little bit more deep now to sort of shoulder some of the what they call the pressure that the defence is getting on in the middle. Because we find that Brian Bothwell, Aleksandar Duric and Fadil are being contained quite well by Aleksandar, Sasi and Subramani. But it's the flank that's coming in, the midfield. Brian Bothwell comes in from midfield. Now the midfield players from Home United has to pick him up.
Faris Mohammed gets in a good cross, but no one's on the end of it at all. Indra was on the wrong side really, and Harun Jumat couldn't pick it up either. And away come Geylang United.
Well, it's a question of yes and no, John, because at times when Faris, when they are players in the box, Faris sort of did not deliver a good cross. It goes straight into the goalkeeper, into the hands of Lionel. But at times when he crossed well, the players are not there. So it's a sort of anti-climax thing.
Aleksandar gets it through for Indra Shadan. Home United going to cash in at last. Indra deflects away off Winston Yap. He didn't have much support anyway, he couldn't get it across for Egmar. But this young man who had such a glittering career ahead of him, then decided to concentrate on a career in the police force instead, has had a very good season. Seems to be more relaxed to me since he's decided on his future.
A very good recovery run there by Winston Yap, who actually came on quite well, quite fast, and sort of put the pressure on Indra. Got the ball away, only conceding a corner. From that situation, I thought that was a good thing to do.
Little Harun Jumat comes over to take the corner rather. On a chance now for them. Now the whistle had gone already.
If you can get a chance to look at the chance, John, you actually can see that why actually we don't shoot on the left foot, because it's similar to the right. He run in straight into the goalkeeper, but he chose to cut in to choose his best foot to take a shot. But that did not pay dividends because Winston got the ball out of touch. But I guess this is a setback of, I think, of most of our local players. They're not being able to use both feet to play football.
Well, there are some well-renowned players a bit like that, David Beckham being one of them. But I just think glancing over there at Lionel Lewis, Vincent, just hang on as Billy Bone plays one for Aleksandar Duric. Nice 1-2. Bone looks at the cross in. Got Perez with him. Nobody picked up Duric. He does hit it on the left foot. It takes a wicked deflection. Oh, and that was inches away. Good play by the big man. Wow, it just took a little deflection off Sasi's toe. And Home United breathe again, but it's a 3-0 lead for Geylang. I think would be almost impossible to recover from. They've got a corner, Geylang United. It's going to be taken by Basri Halis. Harun tried to do his best to distract him. Very good corner indeed! Oh! Well,
it's got to be a yellow card, John, because ungentlemanly conduct, bringing the game to disrepute, and that's Aleksandar Duric.
You felt a little bit for him. It was a split-second reaction, really. We'll see if we can see it again. I really don't believe that he paused for one more than a millisecond before he did that.
Well, we talk about his flexibility and he's able to stretch well. I guess that it was used at the wrong time at the wrong place.
So the score stays Geylang United 2. Let's have a look at it. In comes the corner. Now watch for Duric.
I thought Adi did very badly on this situation because he came off and completely missed the ball.
I just go back to what I said earlier. I don't think this Home United defence this season is looking happy at all. Brian Bothwell upending his fellow number 10, Perez de Oliveira, and a free kick for Home United. We're moving up towards half-time, around 5 minutes unofficially. Try and get a check for you in a minute. As far as we know, the latest score from the Gombak Tampines game is Tampines 1, Gombak 0, courtesy of an own goal from Gombak. Subramani for Aleksandar. Back four pushed right up for Geylang, and no problems for Lewis. Gives me a chance to say, I just wonder if it's a little early to say, Vincent, whether we're looking at a future Singapore keeper here, Lions keeper.
Oh, most definitely, John, because he, Shari Jantan, and we got Zainal, who are all actually very good young goalkeepers, have been well trained by the national coach, goalkeeper coach, Mr. Lee Bee Singh. He's doing a wonderful job with a bunch of goalkeepers that he has already now. We've seen a bunch of young good goalkeepers who are coming up, and I guess like I said, we have to arrange more stints.
Oh, a chance now for Egmar Goncalves! That's just what the doctor ordered for Home United. At last they get the ball in the neck.
It's a very timely goal, John, because I think we are almost at a stroke of half-time and this happened. That sort of straight away puts Home United back in the game. I'm sure now Rob Albers has got some chance of trying to talk to them at half-time and trying to get them back into the game, at least salvage a point. But indeed, this was a little bit sad because it was almost coming each time. Look at the pass that's been made between the defenses, a diagonal ball and an excellent pass. They finish off with the goal. Well, clinical of Egmar perhaps now at this moment of time.
I don't think you can blame Lionel Lewis, but it's a bit the kiss of death when we start talking about a future Singapore keeper and the poor boy just sees the ball put past him. But anyway, it's made it for a really exciting setup. A great second half now here at the Bedok Stadium. S. Subramani clears it, and immediately you sense the Home United move up a gear. Idris Shardan on the left. Can't control it, and it's tied it up by Mohamed Noor, who cleverly wins the goal kick as well.
Well, I think the problem here is Mohd Rahman, because he was playing on the right, but then when they made the switch to take off Sharifuddin and bring back Mohd Rahman, he's staying too far up now, leaving only two men behind. This sort of sometimes they get beaten and they get outnumbered, and then they start scrambling up, and then that gives some chances for Home United to come back.
And Robert having a long talk now on the touchline with George Kulsha, their new signing this week from Queen's Park Rangers, with a good pedigree too. He played for Bradford, he played for Antwerp, one of the top Belgium sides, and he's an Australian international as well, former international I should say, to be fair, but I think he'll use him in the second half. It's a bit unfair to put the boy on straight away. He only landed on Thursday.
Well, I must add here, John, that CVs are one thing.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you.
Another, because every player actually came to Singapore shores. Probably I play for Manchester United, Liverpool, or perhaps Newcastle, because they all come with excellent CVs, and when they see them play, I mean, let's be honest, how many times actually Rob Albers has seen him play in Europe before he decided to sign him? No. It was, I guess, it's just a one-for-one replacement, because the rule allows that if you don't like him, you can send him home tomorrow and register another one. I guess this rule is made for the good of the club, but too many changes, like you said, is not good for the league as well.
Not good for the league, not good for the fans, but interested to see how he gets on. Clash between Billy Bone and Perez, and now a chance for Noor Ali. Home United mustn't blow it now. They've just got themselves back into the game. Haven't had the board held up yet for the amount of extra time to be added on in the first half, but Vincent and I will go down to our pitchside studio and bring you highlights at half-time. We'll also confirm that score from the other match, Gombak and Tampines. And for those of you who have just joined us, it's 2-1 here at the Bedok Stadium.
Indeed, the standard of football is indeed very high, a true reflection of the S.LEAGUE, John. And I say that if Geylang has scored 2 goals, then if Home United has scored 1, I think that's justified.
That was an absolutely glorious ball from Perez for Faris, and a great tackle by Winston Yap. No penalty, says referee Ismail Suri, and quite rightly so, you feel. 1 minute to be added on. Timothy Dennison just holding up the board.
Well, it was just a second lady because before that he could just cross the ball. I thought on 2-3 occasions now that Winston Yap actually has saved Geylang United. I guess he probably will be the best defender now there playing for Geylang tonight.
Taken by the man who's not superstitious, Arsasi Kumar with 13 on his back. Faris, Egmar Goncalves holding it up though for Perez, for Faris Mohammed. The man who gets another good cross in, but Indra doesn't really have the height for it. Harun chases it, but it's out of play. And this could possibly be the last kick of the first half. Brian Bothwell opened the scoring, 1-0. Aleksandar Duric made it 2-0 for Geylang. And then just about 3 or 4 minutes ago, Egmar Goncalves, who's beginning to find form now and score some goals, got Home United right back into the game with his 6th goal of the season. Duric turns Arsasi Kumar partly. It's tidied up by Said Fadil. Everybody looks at their watch, the assistant referee. Referee Suri, Tim Denison gets to his feet as Janjo just issues some instructions. Billy Bow. And there is the whistle for half-time at the Bedok Stadium in our live match tonight on City TV Sports. The score as it stands, as the players go in for briefing, it'll be a welcome briefing too for Home United, who have clawed back into this game in the last 5 minutes. They brought it back to 2-1 and set up what should be a very exciting second half. We'll take a break and then Vincent, Subramani and myself will be down pitch side. Do join us. Welcome back to Bedok Stadium. The half-time score, Geylang United 2, Home United 1. Just time to give you a little bit of news as we look at the crowd from the Prime League. Well, Home United are going well there too. They're 23 points from their 9 matches. And they're ahead of, surprise, surprise, Woodlands Wellington in 2nd place. So some good news for Wenger and his boys. Marine Castle going well in 3rd place. And surprisingly, the SAF, maybe this is a little indication as to why they lost 2-0 last night. They're Prime League boys and they're reckoned to have the strongest Prime League squad in the league. Only in 4th position with 17 points. The top scorer in the Prime League at the moment is Home United player Rizan Azwan. And what about a bit of news of the NFL? Rudely called the National Forgotten League at the beginning of the season. I can tell you that's where the real men are. And the real men are at the top. Singapore Cricket Club are top in the NFL. Scott O'Donnell's boys, they played 7-1-4. Although they lost last weekend, they're hanging on a goal difference just ahead of Sembawang Sports Club. SEC with 14 points from their 7 matches. And of course the SEC will be staging the famous International Sevens next weekend. We'll be giving some more information of that later. All right, Vincent, what are we going to see in this half?
Well, I think Home United has made a change. I guess we'll probably see a very early appearance of George Kosha. I hope. Let's just wait and see a confirmation on who the substitution is. Yes, I think it's George Kosha because
he is. He's coming over to the line.
The assistant coach Jacob Hashim is signaling for him to come on for the referee to sort of check his boots and everything else.
Interestingly enough, looking around, is it? Oh no, it's not Indra. I thought for a moment it was Indra he'd replaced. Well, here's a little bit of he's coming on now via the 4th official, Timothy Dennison. In fact, he's replacing Faris Mohammed, who I thought played quite well. But on he comes. He is, to give you his stats, 33 years old. He's now an Australian national, although he was born in Budapest in Hungary. He really started his professional career back in 1992, his serious professional career when he played for Antwerp in the Belgium League. Then he joined Bradford in 96, QPR in 97, and as we all know, QPR relegated this season. And really sad fate for a side. I remember watching when they were in the top of English football, and here he is now in Singapore. Billy Bone on the ball, plays it for Zul. Early bit of pressure from Home United, who are very fired up now in the second half. Egmar rides that tackle, does he, from Zul? He picks up a free kick. And they get Vincent just have a little look at where they've slotted George Kulshar in. That's him just bending down to pick up the ball with a 20 on his back. He's got that number from Jack Santiago. He's not really going to have, I think he's probably saying, what do we do here? That's what I'd be saying if I'd been here 2.5 days. Well, he's going to have a pop, I think.
Well, the question will be, what do you all do here?
Yeah.
Because he might do it differently back home.
He's a big man, about 1.85 m. But it's straight into the wall from Perez. deflects off everybody. Brian Bothwell's back in defence. Nice little chip in. Up goes Egmar. It's cleared away by Geylang, but only as far as Edson, was it? Or Perez. First touch for Stolscher, who feeds Sasi Kumar, tries valiantly to switch play over for Ong Leong Kun.
Well, moving Arun Juman onto the left will be good because he's a natural left footer. Remember his dazzling runs for Marine Castle last season. I'm sure he'll be a lot more effective than Faris.
Ong Leong Kun joined them Home United this season from Gombak. There he is. He's just pushed forward a bit in the second half. Zul under no pressure from Indra. Lets it run out. It'll be a goal kick for Geylang.
Well, Ong is a very hard-working player. Remember his good games when he played for Gombak last year. But he's not a really polished or skillful player. So basically, you can see more of his defensive qualities than his attacking.
Rahman putting it forward for Duric. Aleksandar. Reach Egmar. Duric picks it up again. At the moment, Kulsha seems to be shadowing Brian Bothwell in the middle of the pitch. Just issuing a few instructions, telling S. Subramani what to do. It's a good start to tell the captain what to do, and he's only been here 2 days.
Well, that's how we've got to go about. Communication is the key word in all matches. You've got to communicate with one another. Yes, eyes is something that you can perceive, you can see, but I think talking to a lot more effective.
Interesting to see how good he is in the air. There's the first chance. Brian Bothwell won that one. Aleksandar 1-0 up. Put a whack in the face. Duric, this is dangerous for Home United at the start of the second half. They're in the box now. He can't quite get the shot in. Harun it was. Vukasavljevic. The right team.
Nabodja, yeah. It's quite a difficult name to pronounce actually.
So I find Vukasavljevic easier to say than Nabodja. Nabodja is his first name. There he is. 22 years old, there's their under 23 player. And, as Vincent pointed out at the beginning, he's been a bit slow to settle. Corner for Geylang at the start of the second half, to be taken by Basri Halis.
Not forgetting that in the first half, Adi Saleh has been quite erratic in the handling process.
Oh, he does well there though, palms that one away. A wicked corner from Basri, and it's still in. And Home United will want to get this one away, and Kulsha gets it, but not the greatest clearance. Actually made to look a lot better by Perez. Egmar Goncalves. Run up the right from Ong. Ong gets it, but he's only got Little Indra in the centre. Plays it reasonably early, but it's the wrong ball for Winston Yap. Oh, Winston Yap watches it go by. A chance for Harun. Lucky. Will go to Gombak next week, whereas Geylang have got, on paper anyway, a really tough one against Jurong, who are lying in second position at the moment.
We're talking about Jurong. I'm sure Sundramuthi is somewhere on the grandstands taking notes about how Geylang is playing today. When they stretch your defense like that, John, you can see the three players actually spreading it out. There's no chance actually for the two strikers actually to win the ball.
Well, he's made a bit of a hash of that. Noor, which given away a throw in when he wasn't under pressure, and it will be taken by Ong Leong Kun. Who's Jang Jun just on the right. It's Noor, still 20 years old. Goncalves gets a second chance. Might go inside here, was going for a shot, it deflects off the backside of Azul, and it will be a corner for Home United.
And that's a far-fetched call actually by Egmar, asking for a handball.
Back shot of Azul, will be looking to find some form. He's in the squad for the international match, of course, next Tuesday night at Bishan Stadium. I'll give you the details of that in a moment. After this corner, Singapore will play the New Zealand international side, who are at full strength. Edson Garcia pops one in, or a nasty one for Lionel Lewis, just catching the rough in front of the keeper, who did well to recover. Aleksandar can't believe it, he's going to have to face a free kick, and Billy Bowen will take it. And Billy is his very best in this sort of situation. Floats beautiful crosses in from out there. If it was a couple of metres nearer, he might even have a go at goal. That one might be Brian Bothwell went down in the box, having collided with Kulshar, but nothing given, and it'll just be a goal kick for the Geylang boys. And it gives me a chance just to say to you, the goal kick for Home United rather, that the international will be played on Tuesday evening at the Bishan Stadium between Singapore and New Zealand. I believe there's a curtain raiser involving the Fulham under 21 side. So a real good evening's entertainment there. And try not to interrupt the play here, try and give you a few more details of that later on. But it's certainly next Tuesday evening. You'll be there, Vincent.
Oh yes, definitely, most definitely. The national team is playing. They have sort of settled down in a hotel, I believe. I guess the players who have played yesterday and the day before are all been grouped into a hotel, and they have been training this evening, I heard. And again, I think tomorrow morning and evening. So I guess that this international is indeed a serious one. Singapore actually has moved down the ranks as far as the AFC and FIFA ranking is concerned. Basically because, well, we didn't score enough points during the pre-World Cup, and of course lack of friendly matches.
Another free kick for Geylang, almost identical position, but a couple of metres nearer for Billy Bone. This is a difficult period away by Kulshar, so he's settling down in this Home United side. It would be really almost impossible for Home United to get back, you feel, if they went 3-1 down. Zul has it. Looking for Duric. Duric is going to get this because it went over the head of Ong Yong Cohen, and Duric does well. Comes inside. Oh, and a chance, and Aleksandar just getting the tackle in and getting a knock at the same time.
But there was some neat control there actually by Noor, who caught the ball in the air off his chest, but I thought the defending was excellent, who came across quickly to cut off the challenge. And there was ID actually who put the wrong foot in, got himself a little injured, I think. Let's see whether they pick up the knock-ons, because like I say, the flick-ons are the one that's more dangerous.
Oh, the corner. Goes with no direction. Go on, everybody's having a go. This is dangerous. And eventually Aleksandar gets it. Oh, nearly gets a kick in the face too from Aleksandar Duric. It's still there. Really, they must get it away. Noor Ali and Bothwell's waiting for Bone. He'll have a go, I think. Oh, he chips one up in the air. Oh, what can Home United do? And Sasi Kumar uses his height very well to get it away, but still they're under pressure as Noor Ali goes inside Edson Garcia. Home United must surely get this one away, or Geylang must score, but in the end it goes over the top, courtesy of Basri Halis.
For a moment I thought a handball was played, John, because the goalkeeper was honestly in places everywhere. He was running back, forth, back, trying to get his hand to the ball, and the ball was always played away from him. Well, it's a young goalkeeper, hard-working. Perhaps he needs 1 or 2 more seasons before he can settle down, because he signed on for police this year, having spent most of his time last year for SAF on the bench.
Very ambitious, Adi Saleh.
Well, for a start, he has dropped a few kilos.
A real belly at the goalpost.
I think this is what defense is all about, because your goalkeeper is not able to give you the confidence. You find that the defense are actually covering the whole length, width of the goal mouth actually, sort of clouding the goalkeeper, and he has got no chance actually to come out and deal with the crosses. I guess it's not going to do the defense any good for Home United. They got the push up, give Hadi a spare chance of trying to come on and deal with the crosses, and perhaps give him a second chance of trying to cover him.
Information of the score, and the scorers, Bothwell opened it for Geylang United. Then it was Duric who made it 2-0, and right just before half-time, Egmar Goncalves pulled one back, and frankly they've looked like getting a second since the second half started. The introduction of the new signing, George Kulshar from QPR, as Robert Alberts just having a little refreshment. George Kulshar put on by Alberts in the second half. Hasn't made a big difference so far, but Kulshar's going to need 2, 3, 4 games to settle down. What's a very different game to the English second division.
Well, we don't exactly know what instructions actually Rob Alberts has given him, because you can find that actually he's policing Brian Bothwell.
Bothwell on his own, Kulshar strolling back. We shall see familiar faces in this New Zealand lineup. Gavin Wilkinson will be back, former Geylang player. He's come back, and so has Jason Batty, who's come back as the New Zealand goalkeeper. It should be a heck of a game, that New Zealand at full strength Tuesday evening against the Singapore Lions at the Bishan Stadium. Corner for Geylang United with Billy Bone. Cleared away by Kulshar. Garcia against Bothwell. Bothwell, player, and picks up a free kick there. And it was born just a stone's throw from Celtic football ground. Was really a sensation when he was in Brunei, and I guess it's fair to say if the M-League had not scrapped the foreign players idea, he might still be down there, but they're reintroducing it next season. Billy Bone with another free kick on this right side for the attacking team. Oh, and a difficult one, and well punched by Adi Saleh. A good point made by Vincent Subramaniam, but Adi has to have to make all his work now in front of a wall of players.
Well, did the right thing instead of catching the ball. Perhaps punch the ball will be make more, what I would say, common sense for him at the moment, because indeed there's so much of players in front of him. It's going to be quite difficult for him to handle the cross cleanly.
Long gets into trouble and gives it for Brian Bothwell, and they'll have to watch out because they've got players wide here. Geylang, Adi Saleh covers well, but just manages to get into touch no more.
Well, that's what I say Ong is all about. He's basically a very good, he's got good defending qualities. So practically you want to use him and see him as a defender. But with the ball, he's quite what you call, I would say, less effective. And you probably want to pass the ball on to perhaps Garcia or Perez, or maybe now George Kolsha, to let them take on the responsibility of playing balls up front for the strikers.
Joim will be taken by S. Subramani.
Well, nothing has changed, John, as far as the pattern is concerned. Both are still playing with the same system. Perhaps the midfield has a little bit strengthened as far as defense is concerned. Nabuja has come on for Geylang, and George Kosha has come on for Home United, basically to cancel each other's players out.
Duric did well there to hold up S. Subramani, but a good interception by Sasi Kumar. Edson, who almost fell over the feet of Billy Bone, nevertheless gets a free kick and takes the pressure off Home United, who haven't started the second half too well. Kolsha. Ali. Savljevic inside for Noor Ali, and he's outside of him now. Oh, and Kolsha does well to get back and shows a good turn of pace too, the 33-year-old. Alberts will probably be crossing his fingers that he's finally got it right with one of his foreign imports. He's actually had a lot of luck so far this season, and still we haven't seen Amir Tabakolian.
Well, if you look at what they call the way the game is going on, John, because Home United started off the game by, like I said, when the player was holding onto the ball too long. And after conceding 2 goals, they start passing the ball a lot more often in search of a goal. Now they start the second half doing the same thing again, holding onto the ball too long. You find that Perez and Garcia is holding the ball a little bit too long. And then you find that the forwards are not really moving into good spaces, and they're delaying the passes, which gives more chance for actually Home United, Geylang to win back.
Well, that was a glorious ball from George Kolsha. He just looked up and popped that one. That's a good sign for them. And now a chance for Perez. Well marked by Noraman. Perez de Oliveira does a little Brazilian shimmy. Chips the one up. It might be a bit too deep for Egmar. Gets it back in. The moment's gone, but a better spell for Home United. And we're just hearing that Balamodu Konde has put Gombak United back into the game with Japanese Rovers. It's now 1-1. Cheerleaders for Home United. Both groups working hard tonight. Bothwell now. He lets him go. He likes Aleksandar to pick him up. Bone with Edson. Billy Bone, and he can pop one from here. They let him get near, but was he brought down? Yes, he was, and this is a real chance now for Geylang because Billy's got a blistering shot on him. Saw him during the week with his young son Samuel, and he was singing the praises of Sunderland this season, his beloved Sunderland.
Well, it's quite an interesting position to get a free kick, John, because like you said, yes, Billy has got a good shot there. Don't forgetting that Duric has got a good curl on the ball, and this is a good distance actually to have Duric trying to curl the ball out of reach of Adi Saleh. No, I think Billy is taking the shot. Or perhaps they got something up the sleeve because it's not really going to be easy taking a direct shot because the wall is indeed quite long, I should say. And curl the ball in is not exactly Billy's forte.
Yeah, it looks in the distance he is from the ball as if he's just going to chip one up at the moment.
Yeah, perhaps for Mohd Ali to run on because a couple of players could move on to a second ball.
Let's chip it up and it's a Billy. Oh, what a gem! What an absolute gem! 3-1. An absolute gem.
And there he goes, John, to prove me wrong that he got to do it in front of me. Pull the ball right into the far corner. Like I said, it's out of the reach. And that's Billy gone all right.
Well, when you see the replay of this, you have to say this is as well struck a free kick as you will see. And young Billy, well, he did well here. Absolute pinpoint accuracy for the Englishman.
It must be the hours and hours of training that he put in just behind that kick to pay dividends on the Saturday night.
Now, Home United are going to have to dig really deep. Perez gets back in, can't get the cross back though, and it will be a goal kick for Geylang United. There it is again. So 3-1 for Geylang, and this score stays like this, it's going to put them in a very handsome position with an 8-point lead. It will be in the lead over Geelong, and most importantly, with a 9-point lead over the mighty Singapore Armed Forces. Winston Yap. He's got Yazid Sawal moving up. He's out of form at the moment. The flag's up for offside. Goncalves. He's glancing at the bench, but it's Yazid Sawal who's warming up at the moment. Not a bad player to bring on as he went to play with Peace, I think it was in the NFL, and was top scorer there at one stage. Duric. Doesn't pull it back, but it nearly reached. It was Vukosagic, nearly reached. Far side, Said Fadil. Billy had spells with Sarawak where he was under the coaching of Alan Best, and then in Hong Kong, played down in there with Tikau. Really on form this season. Oh, that's pretty. That's really nice. The Eagles with Lin in charge.
Strong competition for Dragonites, I guess.
Yeah, it should be a cheerleading competition. Judge Kumar's offered to be the judge on that one. But the girls said they'd rather have you. Okay, free kick for Home United. 3-1, they're trailing. Just what they didn't want to do. Reasonably near the start of the second half, concede a goal just when they got back into the game at the end of the first half. Aleksandar. Kusha. Perez almost gets around Zool. Cross a little too deep for Goncalves, and Winston Yap dealt with it well.
Like I said, that Harun Jumaat is providing some good neat crosses from the left-hand side. I guess you've got to use him a little bit more than you probably want to use Ong, because Ong is handling Mohd Ali, who is now on the offensive. Perhaps Ong should play a little bit more defensive and get on the left side Harun Jumaat a little bit more up front and try and provide more service to the forwards.
Corner comes in, Perez, but high looping header clears the goal easily, and the score stays Geylang United 3, Home United 1. Geylang nearly left with S.LEAGUE, their very first championship. There's the competition for the E-Girls, that's the Dragonettes. But they don't have the police band behind them tonight, or if they do, they're not quite so. They are over there, but they're not quite so loud as usual. Harun. I think Winston Yap's
yes. Easily the best defender for Geylang tonight.
I'm going to see one of the golden holders of the S-League in a minute. It'll be Kariyaya to come on for Geylang United to provide a little bit of wisdom. Coach now. John, that's a good cross, was it? It was a second as it was too long, didn't reach on, and Noor ties it up.
They just announced that he probably would retire from international football.
Kadi had such a terrible time last season with injuries, leg problems. But he hasn't had much chance, Nebojja Savjevic so far. But he'll be enjoying time on the pitch. Aaron stays on his feet well.
Well, I can see quite clearly that what they call Geylang are quite satisfied with the 3-1 lead, and then probably going to just show up the defense and then let time go and then finish off the game with 3 points. I think that's what they're looking for in the league. Get 3 points in every game that you play.
Well, skipper's coming off, Zul's coming off, and he will give the armband. He's given it to he's given it to Bothwell. He doesn't want it, rather interestingly enough. Pass it off over there. Tried to give it to Brian Bothwell. Zul makes sure we all know he's coming off from an injury as he limps and hops off to be replaced by the assistant coach Kariyaya. And Aleksandar Duric is down here on the touchline, taking on some water and not looking very comfortable.
Oh yes, the game is played at a very fast pace, and not forgetting the high humidity that we have tonight.
The breeze getting up now, which will suit him. So Zul comes off, on comes Kariyaya. A good round of applause from the Geylang fans.
Well, we'll definitely see a lot more shouting at the the Geylang defense to back up and to mark man, because Kade is indeed a little bit more vocal than Zul.
Straight in the game. The header. Bothwell puts Savjevic forward. Got the pace, so Heidi just gets a little boot up and blocks it. Cross in, Subramani gets it to Sasikuma. Edson Garcia, not the greatest of balls for Ong Yong Cohen. Subramani.
Well, in the second half, Egmar looks a little bit fast, tiring out. But I've never seen much of what you call Indra Shadan actually.
Very quiet.
Sort of fizzle out, yes. But I guess there's not much good ball actually play up to them. You see this ball they played is quite difficult to control, and you got run onto the second ball, which he loses out. I guess the service in midfield is indeed very important.
Egmar gets that one, but it's well cleared by Bajra Halis. And now Said Fadil.
Of course, the other point is of Perez and Garcia has been tightly marked in the second half by Billy Bone, Nabuja and Brian Bothwell, giving them less space to sort of string the passes and provide service for the attackers.
Kariyaya, master, dealing with the pupil in Rushadan, coming out on top. Right back to Kulsho, who's getting more and more into the game. Got a good cross on him, and that's a little too deep though, near the keeper, and the score stays Geylang 3, Home United 1. And the latest score from the Gombak Company's game is 1-1.
Home United is about to make a second change. Probably I'll be looking at Ong to come off.
Egmar. It's bundled over, and this is in a good position for Home United now. Rather similar position at the opposite end to the one that Billy Bone had, where he scored that lovely free kick about 10 minutes ago.
We'll have to see who's they're going to bring on, because I think Amir is on the bench. He's been showing some good form lately. Although I guess Robert Elkers expect a lot more from him. Or perhaps it's Gusta. Or no, it's Yajin Shawal coming on. So I guess they probably will take off one of the midfielders and put in 3 strikers instead.
Well, have they had time to work George Kusher into this or not? No, Edson Garcia. Oh, deflected on, that so easily could have been 3-2. Perez. So let's look at it. Perez is settling into the side quite well, 26-year-old Brazilian player.
Indra Shadan is coming off.
And on will come Yazid bin Sawal. There's the free kick in. Nearly reached the goal. So Yazid bin Sawal comes on, 26-year-old. Former top scorer in the NFL with the police side.
Well, Yazid, what they call it, packs a lot of good shots with left and right leg, but not a fast player as fast as what you call, I would say, Indra Shadan is. So you can see actually a different player from Yazid. Relies a lot on service, and but obviously given a chance to shoot, he shoot well.
Aleksandar Duric is down, and although I can't see the front, from the back it looks like cramp. I think he was holding his foot back, and I think they might have to bring him off. He looked unhappy, I think I said about 10 minutes ago.
Oh yes.
He's holding the back of his leg. Hamstring.
A bit on his hamstring.
Kariyaya gets into Mohamed Noor. Not warming anybody up at the moment. Edson. Harun Juman for Edson. Salvez comes short, puts it back, but no one had read it. Early touch for Yazid. And I would have been tempted 3-1 up, not to let my just hearing that Gombak have gone 2-1 up. Azhar Jamil has put them 2-1 up in the 70th minute, so good fight back for 74th minute rather. And that's good news for Gombak, who were trailing 1-0. Well, I don't think they can keep Duric on. He's now bending over, holding onto his toe. It's either cramp up or it's hamstring. Vincent would tell you better than me, but I wouldn't risk it, Vincent, would you? I mean,
oh yeah, most definitely not, because you got to be careful. The hamstrings are what you call long-term injuries. You probably got to spend a few weeks trying to recover and then rehabilitate. Probably you don't want to risk him at this point of time, and especially when you're 3-1 up. I think they're quite safe to say that they got the 3 points in the bag at the moment.
They've already got Azhar Baksin out with hamstring trouble, and Hazrin. Interested to see whether Robin Chitraka might get a little run in tonight for Geylang. It'd be nice to see him back. Home pushing forward. What a chance now for Yazid. Was he brought down? No penalty, says the referee. Much to the fury of Harun Juman. Well, I think if we can see a replay with the human eye from where we are, which is some 50 metres away, that was a good decision. And,
oh yes, I guess what they call referee was actually very close to the situation, so he must have seen if it's a foul. Quite clearly that Yazid has got the first touch on the ball. Looks like a foul if you see from the television, but I guess the referee has the right and the final say to these situations.
Well, Yazid didn't seem to think it was either. It was only Harun who was nothing to do with it, who appealed. And now Geylang starts to warm somebody up for Duric. Bothwell puts it on. Duric stretching again, and he's really not happy at all. They'll have to bring him off. Home United have some 20 minutes left to get something out of this game. I said at the beginning I thought Robert might be mentally prepared for a 1-point draw. He's not going to get it at the moment. 2-1, gone back over Tampines, and 3-1 Geylang over Home United here. S. Subramani with the throw-in.
Well, Jurong is playing host to Geylang next week on Friday, and that'll be an interesting match because, like I said, a couple of yellow cards here. Probably we'll see 1 or 2 players being suspended for 1 match. I don't know whether Aleksandar, Duric and Bilibon are on that list.
Home knocking on the door. Goncalves can't turn. Up he goes for Goncalves. Hasn't got much up front. Duric rather slow. Oh, but he's in a good position. And he turned right behind S. Subramani. Can Duric turn? Oh, this is 4-1! Well, you have to hand that one to Aleksandar Duric at half pace. It's Mohamed Noor who scores it. And this is really not what Home United were expecting, I'm sure. But this is a very good performance indeed from the Geylang Eagles. Here it is, good play by Duric. A little bit of a positioning mistake by Subramani to start with, and I can back to the point I've made already that I'm really not sure about this back four for Home United this season. Now there's a problem for them. George Kulshar comes to the touchline. He's taking instructions from Robert Alberts. Almost seemed to me as if he was saying, what the hell do I do? I've only been here 2 days, coach, and I've just seen 2 goals go in. He's having a little drink. Certainly seems a rather laid-back gentleman.
Well, it's quite clear that what you call a home United push players up front, trying to get the second goal and leaving gaps at the back. We find that actually Subramani was on 1v1 versus Duric, and when Batno Ali came on to support, we find that Aleksandar was too struggling to come back to get into position. There was a 1 second slow, and that's what's it. Both played across and played chance at goal.
Egmar heads it on. He's got a free kick, courtesy of Winston Yap.
We probably thought the referee would have waited 1 more second and played advantage here in this situation.
It's going to be Edson Garcia. Take it. Duric is right back in defence. Maybe they're not going to bring him off. Surely now at 4-1 lead they'll bring him off. Or maybe it just was cramp and the spasm was passed. Garcia chips up a good one. Oh, and a good punch by Lionel Lewis. Harun. Juman. And that's going to be another free kick for them. This time Kusavljevic, the defender. And from Melbourne by Croatia. Harun with a free kick for home. Calm, but well dealt with. This time by Mohamed Noor Rahman. Libone pushes it up, but there's nobody up there. The entire Geylang team were in the defensive last third. Yes, money. Subramani. More in hope than anything else, that ball. Kumar gets it to Indra out there. I don't know, Indra, beg your pardon. It's Harun Juman. Harun far side. Gets a push at the back from Said Fadil. So as we welcome the New Zealand international side to Singapore and hope they have a pleasant stay, let me, as a former resident of the North End Road in Fulham, welcome the Fulham under-21 side. And it really gives me a lot of pleasure this season to go up to the Premier League. I hope they'll enjoy their stay in Singapore too. I remember going down there many a time when they weren't quite so glamorous. I understand they've signed Jan Koller today. United again can't get any form of pressure on Lionel Lewis. And it should be an exciting week next week, Vincent, with 2 really good sides in town.
Oh yes. What do you call? But it'll be interesting to see how New Zealand, because it's almost winter there in New Zealand, and coming on to Singapore and face this heat and humidity is going to be quite difficult for them to play the game at a fast pace there that they're used to.
Don't forget, 8 o'clock on, or 7:30 I think it is, at the Bishan Stadium on Tuesday night, Singapore against New Zealand, curtain raiser, Singapore under-23s against Fulham under-21s. Throw in here at the Bedok Stadium, and we're going to see a substitution. It'll be Hamarul Hanif, young 21-year-old, to come on, and one presumes they'll bring off Aleksandar Duric now. They're happy, and who can blame them? There's the eagle, the mascot. That's rather realistic, isn't it? Quite good. He's got his mouth open, ready to jump and pray, and they've done very well this evening with a 4-1 lead over Home United. And a very dejected looking, well, it's not going to be, it's going to bring off Said Fadil.
For those of them who are actually on the betting side, this is 5 goals, which is pay a $5.80 dividend.
That does not console me for having missed the chance of a flutter on Marine Castle lot last night.
The common sense would have said it, John.
A lot of people around Singapore are saying, if only I'd just taken that when it was $12 or $14 at one stage.
We all are a lot more wiser one day after the race.
Well done, Alan Best and the boys. Pusher. Garcia, the ball from Goncalves takes a deflection of Kariyaya. That'll be a corner for Home United. Let's have a quick glance, see how long they've got. Just over 10 minutes, unofficially. And still 2-1 to go back over Tampines.
But today's call for the man of the match is indeed going to be difficult, John, because there are a couple of players who played well for what you call Geylang. Presumably we'll be looking at one of the Geylang players to receive the award. I thought Lionel Lewis, for his young age and temperament in this match, probably would deserve my vote for the man of the match.
Ong with a rather disappointing corner. Perez goes down, and then the late tackle, the clumsy tackle, and yeah, it's a difficult one to call. We get it wrong so often that I'm very reluctant to call it now.
Well, I guess man of the match, you don't just give it to the higher profile players most of the time, because they are expected to perform well. Let's look at the younger ones.
I go for Winston Yap. I think he's had a really good game.
Perhaps Winston Yap has done very well for in defense. But how many of these times that these people actually catch the eye of these people who are responsible for choosing man of the match, John? Because they always look at the scorers, they always look for the prominent names, the profile players, and missed out those young good ones who are quite silent but achieve a lot more on the field.
Garcia back for Arsasi Kumar, but Home United are going to have to find inspiration here now. Perez for S. Subramani, they're being pushed back, and he's obliged to go back to Ali Saleh and the goal, trailing 4-1. They're not looking at any changes at the moment. Robert Albert's very dejectedly leaning against the dugout. Much that Yazid could be there either. Harun Juman.
Looking by the previous standards of the man of the match, they probably will give it to Billy Bone because of his curling cricket. That will linger onto the minds until we go home, and before we watch Liverpool, that will still stay on our mind.
Crossed my mind it might be Duric, but I certainly think Winston Yap's well. At the moment it's Harun Juman who's got a knock. Gets up, they've got to get on with the game. In comes another wicket cross, but they have to say that the Geylang United defence are dealing with everything in the air very well. Kulsha at the back of the box gets it back for Ong. Billy Bone gets in the way though, and gets it away very well to Duric. A little flick for him to Noor Ali. Forward goes Vukosavljevic. Duric wants a cross ball, but there's nobody there. Well, the flag's up against Mohamed Noor Ali. Kulsha, who looks a very classy player, I must say, so far, nicely balanced and always looking up for options. But as Vincent quite rightly pointed out, it's early days, and we've had a lot of disappointments in the last couple of years.
I think what you call Home United is trying to bring on Amir, the foreign player who's under 23.
Amir Tabakolian,
but
Iranian.
I'm sure, to be logical, he couldn't be able to make an impact or a difference to the scoreline at this late stage of the game, though.
No, he's a little unfortunate, because whenever I've seen him play, he's been brought on late, and he does make some nice runs down the flanks, but he doesn't get a chance to settle his nerves and really get into the game. They're going to bring off Harun Jumat, who's had a good game, some nice crosses. He too limps rather dramatically off the pitch. And on comes Amir Tabakolian. He's 20 years old. They brought him over from Tehran, where he played for Tehran Bank. He's very quick, but perhaps hasn't settled quite as well, but he's very popular with his teammates, and let's hope he gets a chance tonight. He hasn't got long to do it, has he, Vincent?
Oh yes, definitely, because but one thing is about under 21 players, they're young. I think we expect a lot more from them.
Ali Saleh.
Well, we are hoping that these under 23 players who are young, will come and brought into the S.LEAGUE, would start to sort of blossom in the later years when they continue to play in the S.LEAGUE.
Home United simply could not find that rhythm that they got in the last 15 minutes of the first half. They came out the second half, and they have been pushed back immediately by Geylang and conceded. Jiang Jonga must be really very pleased with the work of his boys tonight. Kariyaya with the free kick. Looking for Brian Bothwell. Gets up pretty well against Tabakolian, and it gets to Hamirul Hanif. Bothwell. Oh, Bothwell and Pusha there colliding in no uncertain terms. And
well, I'll just say they was quite lucky, because I thought I saw an elbow being
so did half the Home United side. Brian Bothwell just little Glaswegian introduction to George Kulsha. Would have seen it all in the English football.
I'm sure Brian, with his years of experience, has seen worse than that. It's better to keep his head cool, because team is leading 4-1. There's no need for any rash act that could result in a red card.
Billy Bone chips it up. This could be 5. Oh, and Bothwell on the end of it. And all those who had staked on 6 goals in this match, and I bet it wasn't many, had $6.90 in their hearts at that moment. Let's look at it. The old firm of Bothwell and Bone. Korsha, who looks to me as if he's showing a lot of maturity here. He's not going to run himself ragged in his first match and try and impress. He's walking around a lot, having a good look round, just getting the feel of the temperature and everything else. Quite impressive without actually having done very much. Pretty casual, doesn't he? Pretty laid back.
Well, many teams who came here to play actually suffered heavy defeats, John. If you look at the 5-1 and the 6-1s, and it's no surprise today that Home United is now betting a 4-1 defeat at their faces.
Noor Ali, S. Subramani uses some good play for Korsha, nearly tangling with Bothwell again. Noor Ali flicks it on, but to no one in particular, and Ali Saleh will come out and want to get this right up as quickly as possible. Just Egmar Goncalves and Yazid Sawal up front at the moment for Home United. Aleksandar, Egmar, Korsha, Sasi Kumar, but cut out by Billy Bone. And when I spoke at half time about Home United needing a scrapper in the middle field, that's exactly what Geylang have got with Billy Bone. Real fighter. A chance now though. Perez goes forward for Home United. Can he unleash a big shot? No, he can't. It's directed by Winston Yap, getting into trouble with Lionel Lewis. Oh, and On couldn't capitalise on that. And furious words between Winston Yap and young Lionel Lewis.
Surely you cannot blame Lionel Lewis for that, John, because indeed the ball is coming back. Yes, the goalkeeper needs to have a first call, but because he was nearest to the ball, he should just kick the ball out of play and settle off with be satisfied with conceding a corner. If you look at the corner kick again, you look at this one where the ball was flicked on. He was first to the ball. There's no chance of Lionel Lewis trying to pick up the ball because he might be called for handling the ball and giving away a free kick.
Very good decision by the linesman as well, because it looked as if it was Geylang who put it out and just got a Home United boot on the way. S. Subramani. Korsha.
Well, John, you look at Korsha, he likes to string passes, he likes to play what they call ball nearby. He doesn't like to play the long balls that they're probably used to. So I guess he's finding the game a little bit difficult for him to adapt.
Oh, Billy Bone, handball by Aleksandar, was it? Was, and it'll be a free kick again for Geylang, and again William Bone will have a chance to show what he can do, I think. Well, one thing I know is about Korsha so far, I don't think he's attempted to kick it with his left foot. Be interesting to see whether he is very dominantly right-footed.
Well,
and Billy, we're going to play a little.
Well, John, I think there's something going on at the Gombak Stadium, John. I think what they call Templins has pulled a goal back and he sort of equalized. Oh, I think Gombak has scored a goal and extended lead to 3-1.
Well, Azad Jamil gets his second, so it's 3-1 to Gombak over Tampines, whose run of bad form continues. But Goncalves gets in here. I thought he touched it with his arm, and he chips it back. Is he going to be 4-2 right at the end? Well, that was perseverance that won that goal. It's probably too late, but and instantly my friend on the right flicks through to the odds. For 6 goals.
Well, you mentioned it, John, that 6 goals. We thought it will never happen, but it did, and it's $6.90 for that.
Wow.
6 goals, and a very poor decision by Kadiyaya. Very uncharacteristic of him actually to let the ball bounce and let Egmar get into the ball first.
Well, that's good news for Home United's Egmar Goncalves, because it brings him up to 7 goals now, and he's starting to creep up the table. But forward comes 4th official, Timothy Dennison. There's the goal. A lovely little chip it was too over Lionel Lewis, and 2 minutes to be added on. Are we going to see a sensational last 2 minutes at the Bedok Stadium? And Korsha penalised for that tackle on Basri Hallis. Brian Bothwell just issuing some instructions to the youngsters. Basri just winding up George Kuchar a bit. There's the very dejected looking Home United bench. Robert Alberts with his hands in his pocket. Just in front of him, Nordin Abdurrahman, club manager.
Well, you can't blame the coach for in this instance, John. The team created enough chances to get back into the game and even get a lead at half-time. But they fouled so many chances. And now in the second half, Geylang did take the chances again. But this time, Home United was not able to create the kind of chances they created in the first half for themselves.
Perez with a chance now, though. Oh, what's that going to be? Play on, says referee Ismail Suri. Yazid got through. Oh, this is exciting stuff in the last 2 minutes. Amir gets a dreadful ball in, and I think you look at that boy, his confidence is not exactly riding high at the moment. But he's going to take the corner. Kadia looks a little distressed. Amir Tavakolian. Oh, a disappointing corner from the Iranian. Just what they didn't need. ID square for S. Subramani. Kocha, is he going to make a name for himself in his first match? And Vincent holds up 4 on one finger to me to signify it's 4-1 to Goncalves. But it's a chance now for Home United. Edson goes for the shot. Oh, that could have been a sensational goal. Absolutely sensational. It'll be a corner. This is a very entertaining last 5 minutes, and I believe it's 4-1 to Goncalves, Vincent.
Well, I think Lionel Lewis is trying to show up a lot of points to try and earn him the man of the match.
Did well there. If it's not Lionel Lewis or Winston Yap, you'll be very disappointed. And it's whistle's gone here, has it? Well, the crowd are on their feet. No, it hasn't gone quite yet. Yes, it has. Referee gone back 4, Tampines 1. Disastrous second half for Tampines. George Kulshah here shakes the referee's hand, only to find that the game's still going on. Kariyaya, but it isn't now, and that's it. So it's a 4-2 victory for Geylang United to bang them up to the top of the table. We'll have the table for you in just a moment, as well as the Man of the Match award. We'll ask Vincent Subramaniam, the former national coach, former SAF coach and senior staff coach with the FAS now, to give us an expert summary.
Well, honestly, I would say it's a game of chances, and Geylang took them well. Play very well in the second half. I thought some tactical decisions by Jiang Jung was excellent, because he brought in a couple of players to show up the defensive part of midfield, and then a short of also cut off Perez and Garcia. Therefore, they were quite ineffective in the second half, unable to provide a good service to forwards like Egmar and Indra Sharan, who was later replaced with Yaji Shawal. But on the whole, I thought the game was of high quality, and good to see 6 goals. I'm sure this is what we want to see in the future in the S.LEAGUE. And well done, Geylang, and hard luck, Home United.
Well, let's find out who's going to be the man of the match. That'll be interesting. And Robert feeling that Billy Bone might get it because he scored with that lovely free kick. At the moment, nobody wants to seem to come forward.